Hello, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is Andres. Today, the topic of my presentation is Taiwan versus China in terms of strategies used in giving English speeches. First is the outline of my presentation. I categorize them into 6 parts, um, which are the motivation of my presentation and which strategies are differently used, what strategies are differently used um, of Taiwanese students and Chinese students, and some examples, which is based on the previous experience I had in the Beijing English Speech Contest Cup. And next is the different styles of deliveries of Taiwanese students and Chinese students. And finally, come up with a conclusion. Okay, so to start with, I would like to talk about the motivation of the motivation of my presentation. And the reason that I want to do this topic as my final presentation is because I have joined several speeches recently, and I really learned a lot, especially in the speech contest held in Beijing this December. I found out that um, many strategies which we have learned during the language learning strategy courses can also be used in giving English speeches. So I wonder, what strategies do we Taiwanese people use when delivering a speech? And what strategies do the students from China used when delivering a speech? Are they any similar strategies, or maybe they're totally different? So I would like to discuss about it. So this is my motivation of this presentation. So first, I would like to introduce the strategies that we Taiwanese students tend to use when giving an English speech. I categorize them into 3 sections, 3 parts that are while memorizing the script, before going on stage, and during the delivery of the speech. And first is while memorizing the script, I list out 3 strategies that we can use and we tend to use. First is associating and elaborating, because in order to uh, have memorized the whole content, we must use this association and elaboration, because we cannot easily remember every lines in a short time. But by associating each lines with the other, we can memorize them more efficiently. Next is using keywords, because keywords are the essence of the whole content. So when you know every point, the keyword of every point in every statement you would like to talk about, then it will be easier to memorize the whole paragraph of this point. And if it's easier to memorize the whole paragraph, then it will be much more easier to memorize the whole script. And last is using imagery. I tend to picture, I'm not good at memorizing words or lines, so I tend to picture the whole paragraph in my mind and how they're related and to each other. So by using imagery, I can memorize my script faster and more efficiently. And the next stage is before going on stage. I'm I'm a very I I tend to be very nervous before going on stage. So there are 3 strategies that I use to calm myself down. First is an effective strategy, that is deep breathing, because when you take deep breaths, you can lower your anxiety. And when the when your breath um, you take regain to a normal status, then you will be more calmed. And next is recalling the keywords. Just like I mentioned, keywords are very important. So when you recall the keywords, um, it is similar to recalling the whole content, because at the time you're about to perform, at the time you're about to go on stage, you already have the whole content in your mind. So just recall all the keywords. It will make you calm too. And next is holding a positive attitude. Encourage yourself that you can do it. You can make it. This will make yourself more confident. And when you're delivering the speech, when you are confident, it is a very good thing. And the next stage is during the delivery of the speech, there are also three strategies. First is using effective gestures. I think gestures are very important for presentations because when you do effective and proper, appropriate gestures, this will add a very high point to your presentations because people will understand more and you will look very vivid and confident. The next is using humorous openings. This is called good attention getter because um, during competitions, most people have listened to tons of speeches before you go on stage. So how to attract the audience to listen to what you say is very important. So using a humorous just opening is a good strategy. And last is having a confident eye contact with the audience. When you look at the audience confidently, they will be persuaded and they will listen to what you say and they will believe in what you say. So it is very important. And as for the Chinese students, um, while memorizing the script, they think it's very important to understand the whole structure because when you have the whole structure in your mind rather than individual lines, it is easier for you to perform and to persuade because the whole content, the whole structure, the whole main point is already in your brain. And next is also underlining the keywords. Wow, they share the same strategies with us too. Just like I mentioned, keywords are the essence of life. So underlining keywords, memorizing keywords is very important. And they also like to use imagery. Ah, good. So this is a very good strategy to use when delivering speeches. And before going on stage, they say that never think about making mistakes on stage because when you think about, oh my God, I'm gonna make mistakes on stage, it will make you very nervous. And nervous is not a good thing for presentation. And they also say that imagine that you are the star of the stadium. I think this is a very good part of students from China because when they go on stage, they think they're all stars and they look very confident. And when you look confident, this is your stage. And smiling in front of the mirror to keep calm because I think we're always worried. What do I how do I look in front of the audience? So just smile in front of the mirror and you will know how you look in front of the audience. And the next stage is during the delivery of the speech. They think it's very important being polite to the audience because when you have a good start with good morning, judges and peers, good morning, judges, ladies and gentlemen, then you will then a good start will lead to a good result. And next is being emotional, but not too much. Because emotions can influence your audience, they can affect your audience, and they can bring your audience into your world of statement. They can make, when you're emotional, appropriately emotional, you will attract your audience to believe in what you say. And last is also applying suitable gestures. So from now on, we can understand that gestures are very important in delivering speeches. Okay, so after introducing every individual strategies that we students used, I would like to provide you some examples. Um, as you can see on the PPT slide, the upper left girl is the champion of this year's contest, and she was very confident, and she really was the star um of the stadium. Whenever she goes on the podium, she was like, "Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen," and oh my God, it was her time. So her applause was always louder than the others, but I think she deserved it because um her content was very informative, and her delivery was very professional. And the picture on the lower right was a friend which I met during this competition. And to my surprise, she was only a freshman, but she was very confident and she was not nervous when she's on stage. And she also fluently deliver about her ideas, and her ideas are very fresh and creative. So these are the examples I learned from the students from China, and I hope I can apply their good strategies to my presentation in the future. Next, I would like to discuss about the different styles which Taiwanese students and Chinese students used when delivering a speech. Taiwan students like to use personal experience because we tend to think that what the audience want to listen to is our personal experience because we are the performer. They want to listen to our stories. We are the spotlight in this presentation. So our personal experience sharing is very important. But for people from China, they would like to talk about stories of the famous people because they tend to think that only the stories of the famous people in history or in the modern world is persuasive enough to persuade every individual in the audience. Because when you share your personal experience, it might not be strong enough to attract the audience because they will think that, oh, you're only a student, you're so little, you can't understand the importance of life or something like that. But when you share the story of the famous people, they're already famous and people believe in them already. So these are the different styles which Taiwanese students and Chinese students perform during a speech. So, in conclusion, um, I think different styles are suitable for different people from different culture, from different countries. But do try to absorb, learn good strategies from other people's performance. Because if this strategy is useful, is effective, then why do we don't try it? How do we know it's not suitable for us? So I think trying good strategies from other people will make us improve more efficiently. And this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for listening. Bye bye.